And now that I've seen how thorough Candace's is, I'm going to ask her to make all the rest of mine for
Also, you should feel bad about yourself now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it took me multiple attempts to get some of them partly done, and she did hers. Boom. Yep. Sweet. All right. Without further ado, go ahead, Candace.
Woo!
Hello, my name is Candace Boris. My senior project advisor is Dr. Kyle Burke, and my project is Instant Coffee, a Java EE learning application. So I had two main motivations for creating this project. Personally speaking, I love Java. It's my favorite language to work in, and it's been with me throughout my college career. I'm also really passionate about web programming. It's something I've done personally and professionally. So a project that brings together these two interests of mine seemed like a natural fit. So there are Java EE demo applications out there, but they're these sort of large enterprise scale beasts that a beginner might not feel comfortable taking on. And there are none that are online. You have to download them and deploy them locally. Also, I learned a lot about Java EE as an intern at MIS and wanted to preserve that knowledge that I gained with my fellow interns, Beth and Greg. And I also wanted to maybe inspire future senior projects. We do a lot with Java and a lot with web programming, but we haven't really seen much done with Java Web. I was also inspired by the Symfony demo application, and this is a complete demonstration of the Symfony PHP framework. It's a sample CRUD app, so you create, read, update, and delete from a database. And it also has these really nifty code demos on the page so the learner can see what's going on behind the scenes. So I thought, let's do something like that in Java EE. So enter Instant Coffee. It's a coffee shop inventory application that allows a user to add new coffees to the database, view existing coffees or the details of a single one. You can also edit existing entries and remove them from the database. Also, you can log into an admin page and search the inventory. So, the technologies I used. Java Enterprise Edition programming language on the back end. It's run on a WebLogic 12 server and uses Oracle 12c database, and uses JPA to manage the data between the Java objects and the database. Essentially, this allows me to persist my Java objects to the database and pull database entries and work with them as Java objects. Then on the front end, I use Java server faces, and this is an MVC framework for Java EE. And facelets, which are XML-based views, and this works in conjunction with JSF. And of course, our old friends CSS and HTML5 and JavaScript for the styling. So my development process used a lot of the concepts I learned in software engineering. Like I said in the previous slide, it's based on the MVC design pattern. I made these class diagrams to figure out the relationships between my different entities. It's a little hard to read, but we have plain old Java objects and our service classes. Those are the ones that communicate to the database. Then we have the backing beans, which are special Java classes that handle input from the front end and output to the front end. I also had to configure my system, so setting up all the different dependencies on Windows, getting my server and database installed before I got started coding the application. And once that was done, lots and lots of testing that actually ended up taking up a majority of my time, making sure everything worked and all the problems were ironed out. So what did I accomplish? Well, I have a functioning CRUD app. I can create, read, update, delete my coffee objects from the database. I have authentication running. I can let a user log in as an admin, see a special admin directory. I have sanitization working, so I can avoid SQL injection attacks. I also have front-end and back-end error handling. All of my exceptions are logged, and error messages are displayed to the user, letting them know what went wrong. And then the front-end styling done with Bootstrap and highlight.js, which is a nifty little library for displaying code samples, and you'll see that in the demo, which I will get to right now. Okay, so this is my application, Instant Coffee. This is just the welcome page, gives a little bit of information about what the app is. On my Getting Started page, I have literally all the software that the user needs to install to follow along with this tutorial. And then we actually start the tutorial. So we start at the very beginning. I'm assuming that this person doesn't even have JDK installed, so it tells you how to do that. It tells you how to install the WebLogic server, NetBeans, which is the IDE we use for this project, and Oracle database. Setting up the server, this mostly deals with getting the roles and users set up for authentication in the later steps. And moving on, this is how you set up a project in NetBeans. Getting the database set up, so creating the schema, creating the user, and a demo table. Also connecting the database to NetBeans and getting our persistence unit set up so we can actually talk to the database. And then the app. So we start with a data table view of our coffee inventory. On the right-hand side, you can see the code window. It's showing the backing bean for this view. We also have the service. This is the class that's talking to our database. And the XHTML that's rendering the front end. So here we can edit. We want to change the name, let's say. We can also go and view a detail page. And actually go in and delete a copy if we're done with it. Then we can create a new one. Let's say. And there we go. So jumping ahead a little bit through the app, we have the login screen, so I can log in as an admin. And there's not much on the admin page. But in a more fleshed out application, this could be like a control panel or something like that. And if you will note this URL up here, after I log out, if I attempt to go back here, it will just send me to the login page. It won't let me go there. Nice. And then finally we have our search function. So search for something in the database. It'll bring up that entry, and then if I type in nonsense, it just tells me you're out of luck, no results found. So, well, that was the demo. My next steps. So, the thing I want to do next is deploy this to the web. I have a CentOS server running on DigitalOcean right now. I just need to install WebLogic, Oracle database, and get it deployed. I would also like to expand the functionality. What I have now is the skeleton of a functioning modern web app. There's so much more I could do with it. I would like to allow user registration, so let new people register and have like different roles. I would like to show examples of file upload functionality, so maybe uploading files or images to a database. I'd also like to do something with notifications or messaging. I would also like to explore different platforms and technologies. So this tutorial is written for Windows. I'd like to have versions for Mac and Linux as well. I would like to show how to persist to a MySQL database and look at different Java servers such as Tomcat and Glassfish. And finally, maybe even look at different frameworks like Spring. So all in all, it's an ongoing project with plenty of potential.